What's up, nerds?
Hello.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Alan Christian,
I'm Gerald James.
and if you watched the last video, you'll notice that we talked about everything except the big reveal, the biggest reveal. Wouldn't you say? Would you say that was the biggest reveal of the PlayStation 5 show? Was
It was.
the hardware
It was.
itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Being able to see that bad boy.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick the image in somewhere around here whenever I do the final video. Might be around here. Who knows? Who knows? I have no idea what's gonna work best. But look at this thing. What do you think about this thing, Gerald?
It's weird for me. Like, I was expecting another black box.
Yeah.
That's just where they've got me, because that's all I've seen for the past 3 generations. So when they show up with this, like, I don't know, this Dubai skyscraper monolith,
Yeah.
it threw me for a loop, but staring at it for a little bit, I'm not bothered by it.
No. Okay. We have to emphasize there are 2 versions of this. There is a digital edition with no disk drive, which I think looks good. And there is the version with the disk drive, which I think looks like trash.
It's a little pregnant.
Yeah.
It's got its baby bump going on down below.
We talked about this, but like my initial reaction to to seeing this thing, in my head it was a lot smaller, and I was like, and part of me was just like, that's a tiny disk drive. But no, it's not a tiny disk drive. This thing is huge.
It looks like it's going to be probably about 3 inches longer than the base PS3, maybe.
Yeah.
Which was a honker of a console. Of course, we are also seeing it with the base on the bottom of it. So that, I'm going to say, adds another half an inch. So maybe we can knock half an inch on the overall heft of this thing. But I'm okay with it. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It looks like it's got great airflow, which is very important to me.
It is. It is, especially, I mean, if it's got good airflow, then you don't need a lot of fans going on. Mm-hmm. And maybe it can be, kind of quiet.
Yes, please, God.
Because, oh my God. Like, I don't know. The PS4 is so damn loud.
Like, I have the latest iteration of the PS4 Pro, mm-hmm. and it's a little bit quieter than other generations, mm-hmm. But it's still pretty loud. So that, I think, was probably, when they were looking at design, their biggest complaint from users was just the sound of this thing.
Yeah. I've got the slim version of it, and that thing can get pretty loud. Like, it's got less airflow than the original version. That's not true. I did play with the original version of the PS4 a bit, and it was pretty loud too. I don't know. Like, good airflow will make all the difference in that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to say that I'm happy with this design, especially since. Can you lay this thing flat? Like, I saw.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Like, yes. They shot it in a way that made it look like it could lay flat, but I didn't see an actual. Good. I guess. Like, I don't know. Just knowing how big this thing is, I probably am going to stand it up and just tuck it behind the TV. But
from the looks of it, even if it's laying down, it looks like it still has good flow underneath the console, because it's not flat. It's not laying flat on it. I do like that there are curves to it, which, yet again, we haven't seen curves in a console since the PlayStation 3. And that one was a little weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just something aside from a black box makes me a little happy. And I will say that when they first showed off that DualSense, they prepared us for this. Mm-hmm. They did. When we saw that, I was like, damn, that's a weird futuristic controller with a lot of white.
Yeah.
So they set the stage.
They did. Still didn't see this coming, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I do think that this is going to age the worst visually. This is like the old IMAX, the colored ones.
I think that honestly, come 3 years from now, when we get the PS5 Slim, you'll see a redesign. It'll be a black
I'm
box
certain.
again. It'll be a black
I
box
hope
again.
it's not a black box again, but maybe toned down, maybe a little more understated than this. This thing is flamboyant, to say the least.
Yeah, it's flamboyant, and I'm okay with that. That's just where we are now. Like I was telling someone online who was trying to get into a little argument with me about the aesthetic of it. I feel like the Xbox was designed to hide. It was designed to blend in, whereas the PlayStation 5 is designed to stand out.
Yeah.
So neither one's wrong, and time will tell.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I gotta say, from a sheer marketing standpoint, the PS5's design is going to carry it. Like, I mean, not like, I don't mean that's going to be the thing to sell the system, but if you're talking about things that stand out, things that catch people's eye, I think that like there will be people that did not care about this at all, and they'll see that thing sitting on their friend's entertainment center, and they'll be like, "What the fuck is that?" As where people see the Xbox Series X, they're not going to think anything about it. They're just going to be like, "No, okay."
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, the Xbox Series X it's meant to be hidden away, and that's okay. That's fine. I'm really hoping that with the PlayStation 5, something that they didn't say, but fingers crossed, is how with the DualShock 4, the color on that stupid light bar can change depending on different circumstances. I want that color or that light on the PS5 to be able to change the same.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I mean, at that point, we are just like, it's an Alienware.
Yeah. There's just RGBs everywhere, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Microsoft is going to, it's early. A lot of poor decisions still left to be made by Sony or otherwise. But like at the outset right now, I think Sony's going to win this generation again by a big margin.
It's a big conversation to have.
It is, and it's one that is hard to have right now, just because so much is still in the air, especially when it comes to like price. I think once price is announced, we can have that conversation a little bit more.
This game of price chicken, man.
It's wild.
It's killing me.
It is. Like I mean, I've said that I don't think that I'm jumping into this generation day and date, but I mean, price is like that's a big deciding factor. Like if the main one with the disk drive comes out and they say $500, and then the digital version is $400.
That's the sweet spot.
That is the sweet spot. And like, I'm getting the digital version. I like the concept of, I still like have an attachment to the concept of being able to use physical media, but I don't utilize it. So if I'm being reasonable, then I'm going to do the thing that, like, if it's a $50 difference, I might just go ahead and get the disc version, just so that I have yet another thing that can play 4K Blu-rays. Because I own some of those. I've kind of made a point to any of my favorite movies that I think would really benefit from that. I bought them, and I use my Xbox One S to play them. But that's not going to last forever. So maybe I will consider. But if it's just a $50 difference, and have that replace that as my player for that. But if it's $100 difference, I'm definitely going digital.
Right.
And I don't know what to expect out of this generation, because this isn't just PCs in a box now. Like it's
Kind
not
of.
that.
That's where Microsoft went. That's the direction they went, was they wanted to have pretty much a budget ray tracing machine.
Kind of, but they've put a little more architecture into it. They're not just they're not just slapping together components. They've put a little more thought into it. Not as much thought into it as Mark Cerny has.
Yeah, that's their secret weapon over at Sony is Cerny right now, man. He's a madman, a maverick.
Here's the thing, and I'll be called, this will be heretical to some people, and some people are going to leave some nasty comments below.
Oh, no.
But looking at the PlayStation 5, looking at what they've done with this and how well they've engineered this is what consoles should be. This is what consoles always should have been, except I guess for a while that was too expensive of a route to take in engineering something like this. But a console should be something that is designed specifically to play games.
Yep.
And with the way they've gone with the PS5, PC gaming is going to die. Not completely, obviously, but as like a driving force, it's in the dust. If anything, it's going to be holding back games at this point. I mean, maybe not this generation, but at least in the next one. And I think there will be a next generation, because I don't think cloud gaming is going to take over in the next maybe 10 years from now.
I was going to say 10 years seems like a good shooting point.
Yeah, so I think we will have another generation. And I still don't think that even in 10 years, even when it's very functional, I don't think that that's going to be everyone's preferred way to play.
Right.
And PC, PC technology, like as far as like individual components, sure, that can still, leapfrog the technology within your console, but PC architecture is limited. PC architecture has to be everything for everybody, and it's not designed specifically to play games. You can get hardware that is, but at the end of the day, as we're coming up on the edge of what physically can go on a chip, which we are, make no mistake, we are. At a certain point, you can't put any more on a chip, and it's going to be about the architecture for it. And Sony is showing that they are actually willing to go in and design their systems in a way that is specifically optimized in every single way, from the hardware to the software to play games. And I don't think that you're ever going to see, unless they just drastically change what comes out of a PC, what they do with a PC system, what they make upgradable. But at that point, I don't think it's as user-friendly. It's not as, hobbyist-friendly.
Right.
And it pretty much have to be a console. I don't know.
I don't see it killing PC gaming.
No.
I mean, at the heart of it, PC gaming isn't a thriving industry anymore anyway.
Yeah, it just hasn't been for a while. And but I just think that big developers will care even less going forward about making ports for your PC. I think there will always be a thriving indie scene on the PC. I think that'll always be the case, and there always should be. Not everything has to be cutting edge, but if you're talking about the future of gaming, I think PC's done.
I do say that they would probably have to match hardware with what's happening on the Sony side, because that's the weird thing is I was looking online, which it's a terrible thing to do, but after the Sony announcement, even people from Microsoft, like Phil Spencer, is that his name? I think so.
Yeah.
And Larry Erb, where like, yep, no, the Xbox is the most powerful. We've got the more teraflops. We've got this. And to me, it looks like they're scared because they know that they have a souped up gaming PC.
Yeah.
And Sony was like, no, we're doing something different, guys.
Yeah, as they should. I think like this gives me hope in console because like this past generation, I liked the consoles as, I can buy this and whatever game I want, I'll just run. I don't have to worry about, PC compatibility stuff. But no, what Sony is doing with the PlayStation 5 is what a console should be. It's what consoles were born as. And we lost that, just kind of got lost over the past couple generations. And it makes sense and it's wonderful. Like, I'm super into this.
I'm glad to see you excited about it, honestly. I was afraid that you would not care this much. It gets me.
No, it's just, the more I've dug into this kind of stuff, into electronics and into systems architecture and stuff like that, the more it's just been apparent to me that this is the route to take, and I'm just so glad that they're doing it.
Me too. Again, I will say, because I'm a Sony fanboy, I'll admit that. We've had this conversation. Mm-hmm. But Microsoft still kills it on services.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say too. Is like, after saying all that, I'm still not decided on what's going to be my mainstay on this, just because I love the Microsoft services. Like, I love everything that they've done with it. I think xCloud looks great. I love Game Pass and Game Pass, whatever they call it, where it bundles with Gold. I think that they're doing a fantastic job with things like that. So performance isn't everything. But when you're talking about performance, I like Sony's route a whole lot more.
Oh, yeah. And my biggest fear, honestly, is that since there is going to be I won't say a disparity. You there?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I just lost you on my end. There we go. Okay. But even though there is a difference between how the two consoles are going to handle it, mm-hmm. I think that is going to put developers in a place where they have to decide which one to work on.
Yeah, you are going to see, I think you're going to see a lot more exclusives just based on what people want to work on and how practical a port is. Mm-hmm. As where this past generation, most of your exclusives, I think, were artificial.
Yeah.
In that it was like, oh, they're paid exclusives, or, because, like, from my understanding, I'm not a developer, but from my understanding, it wasn't too much of a difference to prep your port for one or the other.
Right. I did not see anything that couldn't run on the other console.
Yeah, exactly.
Nintendo aside.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the systems architectures are different enough that I think you will see a lot more people just focusing on one or the other. And I think what they focus on might depend on what kind of game they want to make, or more likely what has the bigger install base.
Right. So this is going to be probably the craziest generation yet, and that excites me.
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah, this is actually this feels like new territory. Mm-hmm. As where people, the PS4, you can praise it for a lot of things or whatever, but I feel like a lot of its success, especially early on, was less that the fact that it was a great system, and more the fact that Microsoft botched the hell out of their launch.
Yeah. They got the head start because of Microsoft botching, and then they carried it forward just off their exclusive software.
Yeah, and honestly, they did great with it in that respect. The PS4 has sold a ton of systems. Is it the highest selling system at this point?
It still lags behind the
PS2. But yeah, but it got there being a game system, as where I think the PS2 got there the PS2 and even the PS3, as much as it sold, I think were both off of the fact that it was a DVD player, and then it was a cheap DVD player, and then a cheap Blu-ray player that also played games. Yeah. As where, sure, this thing plays Blu-rays, but nobody really bought it to play Blu-rays. Nobody was like, oh, I'll make this my Blu-ray player. The PS4 sold as it did as a game system.
They never even had a 4K Blu-ray option, which was surprising.
Yeah, even when they did the Pro, which I thought was a misstep, but they did fine. Yeah. I think the Pro did okay for them. But yeah, I'm not on the Sony train or anything. I'm not a fanboy of anything. I'm not a hype man for anything. You can say that I'm mad about Nintendo, and I have an attachment.
You are.
I have an attachment to Nintendo's IP, but as a company, I think that they make some terrible, terrible decisions. So I can't. I'm a big fan of their IP, but it's a company like I said. I hated the Wii, and I didn't love the Wii U, so I didn't buy the Wii until I was forced to for to play a Zelda game on it. So you can call me a fanboy if you want, but I think that they make some trash decisions that I can't always get behind. So I've got at least, especially when it comes to the Microsoft versus Sony thing, I am on the sidelines, and I don't know what my future with that is yet.
As much as I hate to say it, I call myself a Sony fanboy, and I do like what they've done. PS3 cell architecture aside, but I've always just followed the games. Simple as that. And where Japan goes, I go, because I like weird Japanese RPGs and things like that. So it just boils down to the fact that you can't play Persona on a Xbox.
Nope.
You can on your PC now.
Yeah. Anyway, you have any other thoughts on this coming generation?
It's going to be exciting. It's going to save 2020.
I don't know if anything can save 2020. I think it's unsalvageable, but it's been a rough one. But yeah, no, I'm excited to watch. I'm excited to watch and watch very closely, and probably wait until late 2021 before I jump on either bandwagon.
I know I've got to get that new toy at the end of the year just to make it all worthwhile.
Yeah, I gotta leave $500 in my pocket just to make it work.
Oh.
You best believe I stashed that stimulus check. But yeah, I guess we'll keep talking about it. I know they're gonna drip feed us some more as pertains to services and stuff over the summer and maybe a little into the fall. But we'll keep talking about it, and we'll every new development that comes out, we'll touch back and do another one of these if we're not to a place where we can talk in person, which doesn't look like it. That'll be.
I mean, this is where we are. I do miss your smell, but this works for now.
Yeah, this is just fine. Real quick, before we get out of here, Microsoft. We've talked about their system a little bit. How would you rate their hype train versus Sony's? How would you
Very
rate
low.
them? Yeah.
As simple as that. Because all we've heard is Halo, and that's really it. Even their presser that they had last month, I want to say, where it was the first look at games for Xbox Series X, was so disappointing.
Yeah.
I'm glad that there were a lot of AA games in there.
Yeah.
And some indies, but they didn't have any huge exclusive games or anything like that, or even any huge AAA games to show on it. And to me, it was just as if I was watching the future of the Xbox One S. You know?
Yeah, like I feel like they've really dropped the ball. I feel like the name's terrible.
Mm.
I feel like the name's terrible. The box is too nondescript. Like I understand why they made that choice, but uh, I think there's going to be nothing to make it stand out on the market. And I feel like I feel like Sony is ticking all of those boxes.
And I still have this fear, man, deep down inside that they're riding this whole most powerful console train for now, just so that when they announce what's been rumored as Lockhart,
mm-hmm.
and they're at Series S, if it were,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to hinder everything on that console because you're not going to be able to release something that can't play on the S but can play on the X.
Yeah.
So
and I mean, they've already hinted that they're not too concerned with having cutting edge games, considering all of they're not going to have any first party exclusives for at least a year. All the first party games will be available on both the One and the Series X, which is consumer friendly as hell. But
don't sell consoles.
Huh?
It doesn't sell consoles.
Yeah, exactly. Like I appreciate the hell out of Microsoft for what they've been doing with their services and how consumer friendly they've been. But at a certain point, even I'm just like, don't you want to make money? Thanks, but you should make money.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that they see themselves more as a service and software place now.
I think
so. A console place.
I think so, but like, and that's way more in Microsoft's wheelhouse, I think, than being a hardware producer ever was. But
yeah,
Microsoft made their money not as a like. I mean, consumer products aren't their thing,
right?
Like you can. I mean, yes, every PC pretty much has Windows on it. Sure. If you're not buying a Mac, you probably have Windows, but Microsoft made their money in the business department, in the business realm. Like that's where all of their money came from. So I feel like even 20 years on, being heavy into consumer products, they still don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I'll give you that.
And maybe as a service they will be great, and they will be the people to save PC gaming. But they're I don't know if they're gonna be batting very well in the console league.
Like I said, it's going to be a real interesting time when we look back at this conversation next year and see where everyone is.
Yeah, I'd like to say I have a lot of hope for them, but then I remember like just talking about them being also the people, because I like my Xbox and I like their services, but then I just reminded myself that they also make Windows, and I fucking hate Microsoft. so I don't really care how they do.
I mean, their Surface laptops are all right.
Sure, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll like I said, we'll jump back and we'll talk about it more as price is revealed, as Sony talks more about their services, as more information comes out. We'll probably check in next month. They haven't put any real dates on when they're announcing more, I don't think, but I imagine July.
They have an event in July.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, we'll check in after that, and we'll see what Microsoft is up to at that point too. So, all right. Well, this has been great. Let us know your thoughts on the next generation down below. Let us know what you think about the future of PC gaming too, because I'm sure somebody's got some shit to say about the things I said. Yeah, and if you like this video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, I know you're going to hit that thumbs down. People love thumbing down things that I'm on.
Thumbing down
things. Yeah. So like, subscribe, do all that good stuff for more content like this and more content like the other things that we've been putting out. And we'll see you in the next one.